Records are meant to be broken. But until Alex Ovechkin, nobody would have predicted that any NHLer would have even come close to Gretzky's career goals record of 894.
Here's Ovechkin in the slot, he scores!
The Great Eight's greatness aside, hockey fans should feel confident that these NHL records won't soon be broken.
Teemu Selanne breaks it, he scores!
Gretzky shouldn't feel too bad about losing his career goals records. After all, he still holds or shares a hold in more than 50 NHL records.
Deep to Taylor to Gretzky, he scores! He's done it! Wayne Gretzky, the Great One, has become the greatest of them all!
The Great One holds the records for most career assists and points, with 1,963 assists adding to his 894 goals.
To Gretzky! Cutting inside of Hoffmeyer. Go! Gretzky! Go! To the Gordie. His quick shot wide of the net. Gretzky! Go! Off goal!
He has 2,857 points in 1,487 regular season games. Jaromir Jagr is second all-time with 1,921 points, and he needed 249 more games to reach that total. Even if he maintained his current 1.5 points per game rate for his entire career, Connor McDavid would have to play another 15 seasons to catch Gretzky. It ain't happening. Another one of Gretzky's records that won't be broken is 215 points in a single season.
Gretzky cutting inside of Hoffmeyer. Go! What a goal!
He is also second, third, and fourth on the NHL's all-time list of most points in a single season, and the only player in league history to break the 200-point barrier. Mario Lemieux is fifth on the single-season points list with 199.
Lemieux, his first shot on goal, and he scores!
No player outside of Gretzky or Lemieux has ever exceeded 155 points in a season. They'd have to make the nets bigger or radically alter the rules of the game for someone to even touch this one. 92 is also safe for 99. Gretzky broke Phil Esposito's previous record in 1981 through 82 when he scored 92 goals in just his third season in the NHL.
99 Wayne Gretzky comes up with one of his great performances.
Gretzky had a measly 212 points that season, the second highest of his career. I guess he was the right player to first cite Michael Scott's famous quote, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." That 92-goal, 212-point season was the first time Gretzky reached the 200-point mark, but certainly not the last. He did it 3 years in a row from 1983 through 84 to 1985 through 86. Considering nobody else besides Lemieux has even come close to reaching 200 points, the odds of someone doing it 3 years in a row are about as high as Theo Fleury in the 90s. And real quick, if you're liking this video, make sure to subscribe. We'll be covering every NHL moment just like this. It's a lot harder to score in today's NHL than it was, say, 30 or 40 years ago. It's even tougher for rookies trying to get used to playing against stronger and more experienced players. That's why this record will never be broken. Teemu Selanne scored a rookie record 76 goals in 84 games as a rookie with the Jets in the 92 through 93 season. To put into perspective just how special his first year in the NHL was, the Finnish Flash never scored more than 52 goals in any other of his 22 seasons in the NHL. Mike Bossy is second all-time with 53.
Bossy, shoot, he scores! Mike Bossy has his 50th goal!
And even Ovechkin, the greatest scorer of all time, only had 52 goals as a rookie.
Big plant, Ovechkin! Bullseye!
Now on to one of the least sexiest records of all time, plus minus. Don't worry, there's no math involved.
Behind the net to Sanderson,
Bobby Orr is undeniably the greatest defenseman of all time. He holds several records for his position, including most points and goals in a season. Those may be broken with the emergence of skilled offensive blue liners like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. But nobody is ever breaking Orr's single-season plus-minus total of plus 124. Elias Lindholm at plus 61 in 2021 through 22 is the only player in the 2000s with a plus-minus higher than plus 60. A lot of people nowadays say a poor plus-minus isn't really indicative of bad play. Try telling that to Bill Mickelson in the 1974 through 75 Capitals.
Who won the Norris division, the Capitals were outscored 49-9. Nicholson wasn't around for the last 2 games, having been demoted to the minors late in the season.
The Capitals were truly a horrendous team in their inaugural season, but nobody felt that worse than Mickelson, a defenseman who, not surprisingly, only played 1 more game in the NHL after registering an NHL worst minus 82. What's worse is that he only played 59 games that season. 5 of the 8 worst plus-minus seasons were made by players on that Capitals team. And we can't move on without mentioning another unfortunate NHL record associated with that Capitals team. Before Washington had the Great 8, the number 8 was known as the amount of wins it had in its first season.
These expansion picks would go nicely alongside high-value prospects Greg Jolly and Mike Marson.
Yep, the Capitals won just 8 games in the 74 through 75 season. It's hard to imagine they couldn't win more with the likes of legends like Tommy Williams, Mike Marson, Bill Lasuk, and Pete Laframboise. Surprisingly, the Winnipeg Jets came close to breaking this record, winning 9 games in 1980 through 81. With the salary cap and better conditions for expansion teams, no team will ever win fewer than 8 games. Outside of the MCU, the Iron Man moniker is mostly associated with Baltimore Orioles legend Cal Ripken. But for my money, NHL Hall of Famer Glenn Hall holds a more impressive consecutive game streak.
Glenn Hall was one of the greatest, if not the greatest goaltender that ever played.
Hall, who won more than 400 games with the Detroit Red Wings, Chicago Blackhawks, and St. Louis Blues, started 502 consecutive regular season games. And if you factor in playoffs, he made 592 consecutive starts at one point in his career. Nowadays, goalies are unlikely to make 60 starts in a season, let alone in succession. And that isn't the only goalie record that'll never be broken. With goalies starting fewer games, there's no chance a netminder breaks Martin Brodeur's record of 691 career regular season victories.
Here's a pass in front, quick shot! Oh, there it is!
And then steal by Oh, what a save by Brodeur!
Brodeur may have benefited from the New Jersey Devils trap system in the 1990s, but nobody can take away this record, and they won't. Brodeur won at least 34 games for 12 consecutive seasons at one point in his career.
Brodeur looking for the goal! Down the ice! Scores for Ted Brodeur!
Including a career-best 48 in 2006 through 07. Marc-Andre Fleury, the last of a generation, has 573 wins, but is retiring after the 2024 through 25 season. Unless you're Tom Brady or have a few divorces under your belt, there's no reason you should have more than one ring. But imagine not having enough fingers to keep all your rings. Henri Richard would be an NHL legend regardless of his success in the playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens legend had more than 1,000 points in his career during a relatively low-scoring era. However, it's his 11 Stanley Cup rings that set him apart. Richard played 20 seasons, meaning he won the Stanley Cup more years than he didn't. Of course, there were only 6 teams in the league during much of his career. With 32 teams today, players would be more than lucky to win the Stanley Cup 2 or 3 times. The days of dynasties in the NHL are long gone. The Penguins, Kings, and Blackhawks in the 2000s have all had good stretches, but nothing close to like what the New York Islanders did in the 1980s. With legends like Mike Bossy, Barry Trottier, and Dennis Potvin, the Islanders won 4 consecutive Stanley Cups in a remarkable 19 playoff series from 1980 through 84. To break that record, a team today would have to win 5 consecutive Stanley Cups, a feat that seems unimaginable in the salary cap era. 10. A solid number of drinks for a good night. The hotness rating of the girl you hope to attract. These are attainable, but 10 points in a single NHL game shouldn't be. Yet that's exactly what Toronto Maple Leafs legend Darryl Sittler did on February 7th, 1976 in a game against the Bruins. Sittler had 6 goals and 4 assists in the Maple Leafs victory. A lot of players will be happy with that kind of production in a season. With fights happening far less frequently than years ago, there's no chance anyone is ever coming close to Dave "Tiger" Williams' penalty minutes record.
That's the right puck going forward. Look at Tiger Williams set up plays. And look at her go. Oh, that Tiger.
A true showman and goon in every sense, Williams spent 3,966 minutes in the penalty box in 962 career games. That's nearly 3 full days, enough to make a man crazy. Although one could argue Williams was. He wasn't just a goon though. He scored 241 goals and was known for his unique celebration.
Tiger Williams penalty shot and he scores!
Riding in next is an age-related record that will almost certainly never be broken. The oldest player in the NHL. Gordie Howe, aka Mr. Hockey, is one of the greatest players of all time. He was dominant during his prime and still productive even into his late 40s. What's crazier is that Howe played into his 50s, playing his last game at 50 and 11 days old. Dude even played with his 2 sons in 1973. LeBron could never. Finally, we come to what may be the most unbreakable record, one that sounds too ridiculous to even be true. You may not know the name Bill Masenko. He never won a Stanley Cup and only scored more than 30 goals twice in his career. But he holds the record for fastest hat trick, scoring 3 goals in 21 seconds in a 1952 game against the Rangers. Chicago trailed 6-2 before he scored his first goal, but his hat trick fueled them to a 7-6 victory.